Yeah, it's going. I'm going to show how to rejet a Honda BF5A 5 horsepower outboard motor. I'm doing this because this motor came down from a higher altitude in Colorado and it looks like it was jetted for high altitude, and essentially runs horrible down here in Phoenix. So I went ahead and bought new jets just to put them in, and hopefully the motor will run much better. This is the carburetor itself. It's really easy to get off. Essentially we have to disconnect the fuel line, we have to disconnect the throttle cable, and we have to disconnect the choke cable. After that we have 2 bolts that we unscrew, and the carburetor will come off. So essentially this is the carburetor. Again, we have the throttle. We want to check and make sure that spring is good. It is, and we want to make sure the choke locks in position and out of position, and it does. It looks really clean. This is a 2006. I'm sure it hasn't got a whole lot of use. Prior to taking the carburetor off, you want to open up the valve and drain all the fluid out of the float chamber. Other than that, we got the carburetor now, and we can go ahead and rejet it. First thing we want to do is go ahead and take off the float chamber. It has 2 screws on the bottom here. They can quickly come off. And then, I think anybody can do this. I'm somewhat mechanical. I've never worked on outboard motors, but it sure beats paying $500 to get this done. Float chamber comes off, and essentially I can change the jets from here, but since I have it open, I think I'm going to go ahead and take off the float itself and check the float valve, because since I'm in here to do that, I will need to pop out this pin. Hopefully it'll pop out much easier. I won't get needle nose. Sorry, I had my needle nose somewhere else. So I'll just use these needle nose to go ahead and kind of press the pin out. And once I press the pin out, I can go ahead and pull out the pin, like so. So that's the float. This little pointy thing is the float valve. I'm not sure if you can really see it. And what we want it to be cleanly tapered. If it's deformed at all, we'd probably want to replace that, but that one looks really good. Next thing I want to do is take out the main jet, and the main jet's located right here. It's just a simple flathead screwdriver. Should be able to unscrew it. Once we get it unscrewed, that's the jet itself. Since I have it open, I'm going to go ahead and take out the main nozzle. Sometimes they can be a pain in the butt to come out. But eventually they'll come out, and that's your main nozzle. It looks pretty clean, but I'm going to go ahead and clean it up prior to put it back together. After that, we want to take out the pilot jet. The pilot jet is really easy. If your motor's not running really good, sometimes you can just take out the pilot jet because it's really easy to access. Take off the cover, pull out the pilot jet and clean it. That's your pilot jet. And other than that, everything else looks really clean. The bowl looks really clean. There doesn't seem to be a lot of buildup or anything. Other than that, it's ready to replace with new jets. So I went ahead and bought new jets. I bought these at boats.net. I got the new pilot jet. Well, that's the main jet. Pilot jet. And I also bought a gasket kit but I'm probably not going to use it. The gasket looks really good on this. Boats.net, the parts are really cheap. I think the 2 jets were $7 a piece. The gasket set was $3, and shipping probably bought it up to $20. So, we'll open these up. Get the jet out. I'm not going to clean these up. Look pretty good. Look brand new. For this demonstration purposes, I'm just going to go ahead and reassemble without cleaning. Anybody can go ahead and use carburetor cleaner and clean these things. My goal was just to replace these, show how to replace these 2 items. So basically we throw back the main nozzle, put that in, and we throw back the main jet assembly, and we can screw that back in. This is the new jet, all shiny and new. Now I'll go ahead and screw it in there. Don't need to really do it that tight. And then we can throw in the pilot jet, screw that back in there. Once that's done, we'll go ahead and put back on the float assembly. You have to make sure that the valve is actually seated into the hole, which this one came off. It's really not connected but via a piece of little metal wire. So if you had to replace that, that's how easy it comes off. It goes back on like so. You have to fiddle around. That can be pressed back in. So, make sure it's operational, and then we just go ahead and put the float chamber cover back on. The valve goes to the outside of where we disconnected the fuel line. It screws back on. We just need to tighten them down just snugly. Always take a look at the gasket, make sure it gets crimped in there. That should be good enough, and then you know, essentially that's all back together. This side goes back up to the engine, this side comes back in. We'll go ahead and put these bolts back in. We'll screw that back up to the engine. We'll go ahead and connect our throttle cable. We'll connect our choke cable. We'll connect the fuel line. And this is just the overflow tube. It'll go back down through a hole in the bottom of the pan where the engine sits. Bolt it back up and the thing should run beautiful. Thanks for watching my video. Again, I purchased my parts at boats.net. If you're kind of revalving the same engine, for a standard altitude, which is below 2,000 feet, the main jet is a number 75, and the pilot jet is a number 38. Anywhere between 5,000 and 8,000 altitude, you want a number 72 jet and a number 38 pilot jet. And then if you're at anything above 8,000 feet, you want a main jet of a number 70 and a pilot jet number 38. And again, you can get all those parts at boats.net. And that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching.